Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
We're in.
All right,
All
cool.
right, all right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Active Reload. Tonight is episode number 7, I believe.
Yo.
Tonight, as always, we have Arctyc and Immortal Spawn, and also joining us is CaptnBarbosa. We're going to be
How's it
covering the
going?
Call to Arms DLC tonight, and a few other things going on in the Gears world. So, Call to Arms DLC comes out. It gives us a remade blood drive, a mausoleum-like map called Boneyard. Many people agree on that. It looks a lot like Mausoleum, and they gave us another map for Overrun, which I have not played yet. So I don't know
Terminal.
how Terminal. Yeah, I don't know how that is. And they also gave us this Master at Arms playlist, pretty much gun game for Gears of War. So it was alright DLC. I mean, we got 2 maps we can work with, but not the greatest. I don't think. I don't know. I'm never a fan of DLC playlists. I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great addition to the free for all game that Gears of War Judgment is. The DLC makes sense for the type of game that Gears is at this moment, but it's not a DLC that the competitive community would really like to have at this time. We're hoping for a little something else, but you have to understand that this DLC was already planned pre-launch, so it is what it is there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not. I know a lot of people are expecting like a some crazy rant from me today. It's really hard for me to criticize what Epic decided to put out with the content in terms of like team versus FFA or whatever based. Um, I guess I can critique some stuff about the DLC I don't particularly like, but for the most part, I say this was expected because they probably had this planned, way back in, I mean, who knows when, October or November or whatever, that these were going to be DLC maps. Um, I have to ask you guys, like I said before, I gotta get in my zone before I start going on some rants and stuff. But how do you guys feel about? I guess I kind of have a bone to pick with the content that they had on this game. They split 4 with Overrun for one game type, 4 maps, and then 4 other maps are divided among 3 other playlists, and then uh, not expect, like, how could they not expect the people that are in the traditional multiplayer to get sick of those really quickly, across the board, like, for the volume of players that traditional multiplayer would have versus traditional or versus Overrun, doesn't make sense to have a 4-4 split and then charge $60 and then expect people to pay for DLC. Like, did that to them? I don't know if it was Microsoft. I don't know if it was Epic. I don't know if it was people that can fly. But did that pricing structure to them make sense? Like, was that like, hey, yeah, we can totally do this and not feel like we're cheating out our consumer, our customers. So I mean, that's probably the biggest question I have for you guys is like, how do you feel about the price of the product and the content that has been delivered so far?
I hate it. I mean, I hate it. There's nothing to like about it. I hate it. 1,000 Microsoft points for 2 maps, a game type that I don't even understand why it's in Gears because it doesn't make sense to me. And and then an Overrun map, but Overrun we barely play as this. I don't understand it. I mean, DLC right now. I understand they're trying to make money. I understand this is pre-planned DLC. They're just going with the plan they had already set, but the price on it is ridiculous for how little content we already have. We now got to pay more money, which is, I think, 1,000 Microsoft points. How much is that? Like almost $10 or a little more?
More than 10.
It's more than
Yeah.
$10. I got to pay another $10 for two
Yeah.
more competitive maps for me to use when I only have 4 right now. Because let's face it, one of those maps is just crap.
Yeah, yeah. The idea with having like the maps like serve 2 different multiplayer purposes seems like they're creating double work for themselves. So I
Yeah.
feel like if they could do it again, they probably would in a different way. Um, but I don't like the thing is, okay, they may have like this may have been the most money they could have made on it, like if they decided to do it like this instead of an expansion pack for Gears 3. But looking at the big picture, like you lose the dedication from your player base. So like when the next Gears comes out or whatever title Epic would release, like there may be a certain person that may not be as dedicated as they were before, based on the way they felt maybe betrayed this time around.
Right.
So you got to think about that when you're putting something together like this. But yeah, I agree. I don't think, when I got home and played that first week, I don't think, $60 was worth
what you got, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I almost feel like if you want more content, which is, it's like they shoehorn you almost into saying, well, if you want more maps, you're gonna have to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing, and even
And
that
they
is
tried to
like
make
we're
up
seeing,
for it with the free DLC, but it was one.
Right.
I mean, it's one map, and they didn't release Capital yet. So
Yeah.
and we're seeing like the same map, so it's like you're not even putting like development time. I know there's development time on revamping the maps and fixing them up, but we're not even seeing like new things. Like, yeah, we love our classic maps, but we're not even seeing like some fresh, some freshness.
Right.
I mean, it's Blood Drive, so I mean, yeah, it's changed a lot. Not necessarily for the better, but I don't know. I feel like we should see more things rather than just seeing the same maps come back again.
And that's one of the things that Skyless and I talked about, and someone actually mentioned to me was like thinking back on it. Obviously, Gears 2, Gears 3, Epic has, and now Judgment. Epic has released more like rehashed maps than almost any studio out there in terms of just remaking maps. And I kind of thought about that after they said it. Like, man, they really do remake a lot of maps. And is it because they are trying to do that for the community, or are they trying to just cut back on work because the bare bones multiplayer team that they put together year in year out for Gears? Is it like they're just trying to cut back on work and make it the easiest possible route? I mean, it's like really confusing to me.
Yeah.
Being in the industry and knowing how things work, and then seeing their approach and how they kind of do things, it's just strange to me how they've kind of approached this game, which is why I initially said, like, what is the design direction for Gears of War Judgment? Like, what is the overarching like goal that they want with this game? You know what I mean? It's like I'm really torn. Like, what am I going to expect next? Is almost like how I feel about the game. And in terms of like, I guess the maps themselves, like Blood Drive, it's one of those things. And I don't know if you guys saw the conversation I kind of briefly had with Jim over Twitter. It's like, I asked him like, what was the design or what was the decision to push Blood Drive out for a third time, which again puts it on, and I mentioned when I say again, this puts it on the same pedestal as Gridlock in terms of map like nostalgia, map like prominent. What's the word I want to use? Pedestal. Like we have Gridlock up on a pedestal, right? Is Blood Drive is Blood Drive to you the equivalent of Gridlock?
Anything Gears 2 should just die. I don't want it around.
Like Gridlock's like the flagship map for
right.
Gears
It's like
of War.
there we go. It's the flagship map for the game, and I don't feel like Blood Drive deserves a third remake, because at that point you're saying, well, what other maps did we remake 3 times? Well, 2 other times. I'm sorry, 2 other times, and it's Gridlock. So is Blood Drive the equivalent of Gridlock? No.
No.
And the other thing I had is like, I mentioned that, and when I said this to him, he said the reason that it was remade is because of popularity, and it flowed the best with their new style of the free falling gameplay and whatnot. And I kind of thought about it. I was like, man, they're gonna have to make a lot of changes for it to flow. And the Blood Drive that we got is pretty different.
It's a lot different.
So I kind of mentioned this. There's other maps that probably would have fit that a little bit better, that they even remade on, like Aftermath would have probably fit that much better than Blood Drive, and there would have been less work if they were trying to say, okay, we're going to bring in maps that require us to do less work, but provide more content to our fans. And just the whole play experience on Blood Drive itself leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's not a map that I found particularly intriguing on any maybe King of the Hill sometimes, Annex rather, King of the Hill Annex maybe, but most of the time the gameplay was not what I would call like, didn't have a lot of meta to it, didn't have a lot of revolving strategies. It was more like smoke push on Gears 2. Smoke push. Hope you get a bunch of stuns, grab a power weapon, and then try to either camp if you're in the defensive team,
Yeah.
or push. I mean, that's how it played out on Gears 2 at the highest level possible. There wasn't a lot of strategies involved. I mean, we saw a few variations, but I don't know. It's just a weird ass choice. And then on Gears 3 with those rifles, oh, I mean, that was just one of the worst game or maps and games I played with that map. Just like unbelievably slow. It felt like escalation because of like you're going up into rifle fire because people would just sit in camp.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that play experience. If I have that in my mind as a player, and this is Epic, like completely in my mind misreading their fans. If I'm experiencing that as a player, that absolutely sucks. Don't get me wrong. I know there's some people that enjoy the pace, but why is Epic saying, okay, the play experience must be awesome? That has to be great. That's fantastic. Like all these people are voting this map. I think the main reason I got voted a lot is just because of people that nostalgia factor for Gears 2. But all these people are voting this map. It works great for Horde. This is going to be a super popular map. It's fantastic. And it's like, man, were we playing the same game? I just
Yeah,
that's
certainly
just how
not
I
for
feel. It's like,
execution.
why remake that map? Like it just for me again, bad play experience, bad taste in my mouth. Why do you guys feel like that is a map that deserves to be remade and put on the same pedestal as Gridlock?
I don't get it. And when I was going on my Twitter rant, Rexilla was talking to me. He said because the community and people in the forums love Blood Drive, and I was just like, I don't get it. And if the whole thing is, if they're trying to bring back maps, and the whole reason with Execution not being in the game in the first place because it doesn't work in GOWJ Judgment, why are you bringing back a map that really only worked for Execution in Gears of War? It didn't really work any other way. It was an Execution map.
And even on Execution, dude, do you remember when you get down to like 3v2? What would people do? Grab nades,
Run up top.
Spawn.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, again, it wasn't. This game without execution in mind. I actually think Blood Drive was a super popular wingman map on Gears 2. I'm trying to think of other games, other maps that were really good for wingman. But if the wingman playstyle works,
I like the
free-for-all
path.
playstyle is going to work.
Opened up the
And again, I think that is.
what's that wall? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was the back spawn on Wingman on Pavilion. That was one of my favorite Wingman maps. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm trying to think of another map.
You there?
Is Rob still there?
Kenny, I'm just going to let you know I'm having a hard time connecting to you. I don't know what's going on. I hope
Really?
you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you right now.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
not
hear you.
okay. I heard you guys. I just wasn't sure if I was getting through, but it's weird kind of calling in. So I'm going to let Arctyc keep going. I'll be listening. I'm going to restart here real quick, and hopefully I'll be back with the camera.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
it's all me and you right now?
Yeah, it's just me and you
I'll
right
be
now.
right back.
Somebody could be trying to hit my Skype for all I know, but that's why it's on a VPN. So have fun with that.
All right. So I mean, I guess I kind of hit Blood Drive. I'm gonna let other people come in and kind of talk about it. But I guess I kind of move on to Boneyard, which I don't really have a problem with the map at all. I think it does look very Mausoleum-ish in terms of that whole boom shot area. Very reminiscent of that map. Even the look of it is kind of similar. But kind of walking around the map, that whole open side isn't necessarily the same. But it does have that same vibe, that same feel. And I guess the thing I kind of noticed when I got into the map was the power weapon placement was really odd. Blood Drives is really odd as well. I guess I should kind of backpedal on that here in a bit. But it seems like, again, thinking about how high level play is, they're just going to run straight to boom shot, which basically cuts off the entire rest of the map. So it's like, well, why wouldn't you put the boom shot in an area that's going to be more useful for the rest of the map?
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's, I had people that kind of commented on it when I did the walkthrough. It was like, this is probably because of free-for-all. Like, you have all those other weapons on map. People pop in. They're probably going to pick up, hey, oh, yeah, I spawned by the torque bow. Let me grab this torque bow. So, maybe free-for-all should just have different swaps than the rest of the team-based games. And that was pretty much my only solution I could really think of to make that a more viable map. Like, because I think it'll actually play well. I want to watch some execution matches on it, but I actually think that the map flow of it might be pretty good with some good swaps on the map. I mean, I couldn't see anything wrong with the design of it. It's pretty. Seems like there could be a lot of strategy involved with how some of those flanks are used, the lines of sight. But there's some really questionable decisions on those default swaps. Did you see? They actually have a sniper nest, and then the snipers can look directly at the torque.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's like Skyless was talking about this, but it's like the torque isn't a counter to the snipe. The snipe is basically a counter to the torque. So it's like, why would you give a team torque off the bat and then have them look at snipe off the bat and have them look at the torque bow user? It's like, well, that doesn't really balance out. But
Yeah.
again, I think most of the fight is going to be a boom shot, so it won't really matter anyway unless the swaps are different.
I think they've changed them already, honestly. Because I hopped on there before. Me and Barbosa were talking before you got in here, and I have the screenshot up now of my default private match layout of Blood Drive, and there's a breach shot looking at nades, and then a snipe looking at digger.
Okay.
So I think they're already playing with it. I don't know what they're doing, because if I'm looking on the map, I set everything to default launch, and there's 2 diggers. No idea.
Yeah, maybe they fixed it already. I mean, maybe they saw it and they were like, "Oh shit, that's not what we want."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the weapon swaps on it were kind of weird to me. But I hopped in on both game types on free for all. So maybe I was thinking like, hey, maybe for execution, obviously execution, there's not going to be a boom shot in the middle of the map like on Blood Drive, but maybe for execution, domination, and team deathmatch, these will be a lot different. So that's at least what I'm hoping. But I absolutely have no problem with Boneyard. It actually looks like it'll play out pretty well.
Oh yeah, Boneyard. Yeah, Boneyard could be real good. Blood Drive. Looking at that, it's I think for domination it could work good because there's so many ways in and out now compared to how there was when in the up top rooms where they could camp.
Yeah.
You kind of cut down from there to go right down towards Bushka and Boomshot, which just still drives me insane that there's a Bushka and Boomshot on a map like that. It's like, what? I mean, we already say how we don't even want Boomshot on like every map we use, and there's a Bushka and a Boomshot, and I can't believe that. Like, I don't know how that got through. And they're like, yeah, this looks great. Like, I'm waiting to see like I'm surprised there's not a Vulcan somewhere on the map, but that's insane. But I think it could work domination-wise. It looks good. I'd like to see TDM played. I still don't know why TDM's not really being used. I want to see it tried out, at least, because I think it could work better now.
Let's do it then. We'll make like TDM Tuesday or something. But
Barbosa, I was gonna say, isn't it really obvious that like execution just won't work with this game? Like based off of what they've shown so far, like this is not an execution game.
Yeah. It's not an execution game because of the maps, honestly, or is it the loadout? It's more the maps than it is like the loadout in the gameplay, right?
I definitely think so, because with the loadouts you could switch things around and make it better for execution. The maps you can't change the maps. Like you can change the swaps, but it's not going to change map flow. Like Blood Drive, just walking around that, thinking about chasing people on execution. Whoa!
Yeah, that's like the only reason I said man up rule as like
that's gonna be
rough.
rough.
Even play execution because I mean it's just not fun right now. And yeah, it has a big deal with the maps. But obviously we want to play execution, so
it's mainly because like not even the maps. It's because you can just hop down from anything now. So like you can't be like, hey, he's pinned at this balcony, because as soon as you go up the steps, he hops down the balcony. Like
it's gone.
There's no real pinning a guy in Judgment in execution unless you have a power weapon, and you're staring at him with it, and he can't hop down. That's it.
The other thing with the issue with that is like even if you have a power weapon, there's so many. Let's say you get in a 3v2. I always like giving that 4v3, whatever. If you get into that situation, you have a couple guys pinned, they hop down, you don't have a guy right in that spot where he needed to hop down to cut it off, they run straight for another power weapon. It's like...
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's all with swaps, pretty much. That's pretty much how you fix it, but even at some point, there's still that ring around the rosy effect that you see with Blood Drive, at least. Mausoleum's not really that bad, but... Boneyard, I'm sorry. It's not really that bad, but... I want to watch some matches on execution on Boneyard specifically.
just to let you guys know, the map we've been working on the most has been Haven, because obviously Haven has the most kind of traditional-esque look for execution. So we really wanted to iron out those swaps, and we insist on throwing like the ink grenade over there on the corner, because at least with an ink on the map, you can kind of pin someone if they're running by like throwing it past them. So they're either going to run through it and down, or they're going to have to fight you. But that's just one of the things that we've been looking at. Like the ink grenade's actually a good pin weapon, so we're trying to include it on every execution map somewhere. So you can, like, if you know you're going to start chasing someone down, it's like, all right, go get the inks. This guy's running, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, looking at settings right now with, even with, I know it hasn't really been tested yet, but Blood Drive is obviously being looked at as a possibility for at least domination and execution, since it was always an execution map. Might as well try it.
Where are the hills on Blood Drive domination? Have you guys
They're
tested
really good. On Blood Drive, the spawns are different. If you could bring up a map, Kenny, because I know what the I know where the spawns are and everything on Blood Drive. But it's if you're looking at the overhead map, it's all the way at the bottom. It's triage, and whatever's across from triage, that's where you spawn. And then there's a hill right in the middle of you two where the pillars are. So that's kind of like a grenade out.
You're getting a lot of static right now on your mic. I don't know what that is.
It might just be a cable thing.
Yeah, it might be your cable. Check that real quick.
Fix
I thought it
this.
was me.
Sorry, guys.
It's alright.
Just reconnecting and everything. Is it still there?
Yeah. It's whenever you talk, it's like a lot of static.
Yeah, just static.
Give me a second.
So,
Good old Astro wires.
where are these hills?
He was saying there's a hill at Triage where you see the long shot on the map I have up, and there's another hill at Station, and I'm assuming the way that's set up, the other hill is gonna be Bushka, if from the way it's sounding.
Bushka? Digger?
Triage.
Triage, Station,
Station,
and sounds like Bushka.
Okay. There's a Bushka there. Jesus. All right.
Well, that's the way it is default right now. That's what we were talking about. Like, you know, when you look at the map
and like I
designs,
said,
Those don't look bad. Those don't look like bad spots.
I mean,
no, it looks good. It's got to be like a triangle. Yeah.
This was not intended for execution whatsoever. You can tell by the swaps, power weapons. You sound pretty good. The other, like, one thing I know this was suggested before. I feel like if you put this many power weapons on a map, like, I feel like free for all should almost be like no power weapons on the map, like they used to do for Wingman for like 30 seconds.
I would love to be able to do that. I know
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about that on Twitter, and that actually sounds really good.
On library, and I get rockets, and I start out with 5 kills. That's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you should fight over position for the first 30 seconds, or
I wouldn't mind
15
seeing that.
seconds.
But
It's actually a really good idea. Yeah, I don't either. Objective game types, right?
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Objective game types.
That's it.
Yeah, that'd be good to see, because I mean, even the few pickups I did in execution, like the rounds were determined in like 10 seconds almost, like, and it was already whoever won the round, it was clear. That's what I didn't like about how the game is now, because it's like it's even more fast paced with execution, and you're able to get in people's faces and close that gap way faster. That the rounds were getting determined so fast, and I love fast paced, but I don't like, you know, smoke spots, disco party, run in, shoot people. Like,
it's like spam, you know, you just kind of spam everything you got. It's over.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. So, this Master at Arms game type. I haven't played it yet. I've been asking a lot of people about it. I mean, I understand the point of it, but I hope Epic's understanding. This is why a lot of people saying they're trying to make it like Gears of Duty, that whole joke people run with. And it makes perfect sense, because I mean, you look at it, it's like Epic's trying to take another thing from other games it's already in. It's in Battlefield, it's in Counter-Strike, it's in Call of Duty. Sure, it's in other games, and they're trying to put it in Gears.
Counter-Strike first.
Yeah, the reason I don't understand this is because in those games, gun game, all those weapons are primary, secondary, starting weapons. In Gears, you're using power weapons that you can't start with because they're ridiculous, and honestly, if you get one, you should be killing people. It's not really a big deal. So that's why, I mean, I understand the fun in it in Gears of War, but I don't really understand the point of putting it in Gears of War. It's just, it doesn't fit. There's some things that shouldn't be done for other games. Just because it works in this game doesn't mean it's going to work in that game. And I've always seen Epic do this in every Gears. They keep trying to implement something that they're like, oh yeah, this worked great there. It should work awesome with us, and it doesn't.
All right, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and tell you on Tuesday I streamed for 5 hours all Call to Arms content, I had Shawnee with me, and we did Master at Arms, a bunch of free-for-alls, and I was giving prizes away and stuff. And those free-for-alls actually played out a lot better than your standard free-for-all. Fact being is that you had to utilize all the weapons, and you have to use 20 of them. And over the course, like, I couldn't memorize like the whole order the first time around. Obviously,
It's random as fuck. By the way,
it is kind of random, but what's really fun at the end is if you're close to winning, you get some weapons that you struggle with. Like, it goes torque to snub pistol, and then you get cleaver at the end. Like, trying to torque someone in a free-for-all with 10 other people is really difficult when everybody's all over you. And then the snub pistol is kind of weak compared to all the other power weapons that everybody's already got in the mid-game. And then you have a cleaver compared to what everybody else is trying to kill you with. So it was a lot of fun, and like towards the high end, it was, I could just describe it as fun because towards the high end, it slowed down. So if you got up there really quick, people had time to catch up to you because people just struggled with that torque bow. Like, we had good players, and every time that torque bow came out, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go to somebody else because this guy's gonna be on torque bow for a little while. But I think it's actually a better free for all mode than standard free for all. That's my opinion.
I think it's a fun game type. Again, I think it's fine for this game. It's not what we as a competitive community need at all right now. But I mean, there's more game types is a fine thing. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I played a full cycle on it.
yeah, I have
But
fun.
I mean, it's not what we need. But yeah,
It's not something that I would play more than what I've already played. I mean, I've had my feel with it, and I'm
Fair
like,
enough.
It's not something I'm going to
okay.
pay $10 for. I'll tell you that. Unless I obviously
Yeah, like
already have.
like I
But
feel like there's no reason that couldn't have already been on the game because I don't see why it's doing. And the other thing with the DLC was like it's 2 maps that we've already had. So I feel like I'm kind of getting robbed a little bit because like none of this is really new. Like it's not like why are we paying for stuff that exists already?
Yeah.
I mean these maps are old, so that didn't take very long. This game type it's fun, but like it could have been there already. I don't know. It just seems like they thought about a bunch of content and then they're breaking it up with these DLCs and it's just gonna draw it out. It's kind of unfair.
well,
I'm
it's
really
unfair.
interested to
I feel
see-
abused.
I'm really interested to see what the next DLC drop is because obviously it's pre-planned, like I said, and I mean, I don't know if they're looking at what the community wants or if they're just making blind, wild guesses or looking at statistical data or just getting a feel for, the design team is like, hey, yeah, we really like this. We think everyone else will like it and going with that. Or if they're looking at other games and saying, well, this is what this game is doing. Let me try that. Like I said, I just have no idea what their design plan right now is for Judgment. So if we don't get a team-based game type, like objective team-based game type, I'm seriously, I might not play Gears Judgment anymore. Like I might just not play. I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, and I'm having a hard time myself playing the game or trying to be motivated to play the game right now. And just speaking of DLC, Hassan made the best point in the chat right now. Let me scroll up. He said, "Why would anybody pay $12 for one map pack when the VIP pass is $20? The pricing doesn't make sense." And I understand they're trying to do that because they're like, "Oh yeah, pay $12 for this or pay $20 for everything." And it's like, well, why do we want to pay for everything when this one sucks? No, you're already letting me down with this one. I don't have hope in the next ones now. What did I get? Oh, a gun game. I don't want a gun game. I want a better game type. I don't give a shit about gun game and Gears of War. Give me King of the Hill, something that worked and people loved. Give me the bomb game type that everybody's been screaming for. Give me a good capture the flag, not that stupid submission crap where you grabbed a guy and dragged him and he shot you.
Yeah, but like, and why even take those game types out? Like, those already existed, and it would have been more value with the game to release. It's like Gears of War 3, and they chopped it in half, and then put this out, and we paid the same price. Why take things away? That bothers me.
I mean, a lot of things. I mean, the obvious reason is this: there's not a lot of people playing for all the playlists that they had. There just wasn't enough. So, I mean, the way they split things with ranked quick match, that just needs to go away.
Yeah, that has to.
They just need to be one playlist for each game type. Fuck ranked, because it's clearly. I mean, they're not trying to make it any better. So just go quick match with everything, which is fine. and then consolidate. I mean, consolidate. There's already, I've already seen a number of people jumping back onto Gears of War 3.
Yep.
And obviously, we talked about last week. We talked about the sales numbers and the population numbers and where the Xbox Live activity was. So I mean, it's very clear that like this is losing wind fast, and you keep like we're gonna have another DLC where a segment of the population probably won't purchase it, or maybe some of them will, and it's gonna further fragment who's playing what. And then again, that brings me back to the point of okay, they came up kind of short on content. Was that intentional in order to force people to buy DLC?
Yeah,
Again, and then
I
who
think it's
is
true
that? Who
statement.
is that directed? Is that Microsoft? Is that Microsoft's idea? I don't know.
I don't understand it. And I'm going to make the most ghetto example right now. Say this piece of cardboard is a sail on the Gears of War ship. There's already a hole in it from release and numbers. With what's been going on recently and that DLC, this is now your sail. It's half the size. That's what you got to work with, and it's going to get worse and worse. In a few weeks, it's going to turn into something like that, and we're going to be sailing on a little rinky-dink boat going nowhere. It's bad.
Praying to Alien Jesus.
Yes.
Brilliant.
It's true.
You know, Arctic, what you were saying about this objective game type, like the bomb game type or a single objective game type, it doesn't matter really what the map is.
I just don't care. I don't care.
It
I just
doesn't
want an
matter.
objective game type.
Like, did you play Killzone on PlayStation by any chance?
I played a little bit.
Okay, those maps were all over the place. There was like quadrants. You can walk on one side of the map and you go to the other and it's completely different. And they had this rotating objective that was like, okay, the VIP's over here, kill them. And then there's like, capture the flag over here and then move it over here. Like, so it had these weird ass maps, but the fact that the objectives drove you around the map didn't mean shit to like how it needed to be symmetrical or anything. So essentially the savior of this game would be that single objective game type, and then we could have a party. I just that would save every map in the game if it was a single objective, some sort of thing like that, with knockout settings like search and destroy or execution.
Yeah, it'd be great, and I love the test playlist. I understand the point of it. I love that they were putting in the idea of back to a rifle shotgun start. Finally, it clicked. Like, why did we do this? We should try it out, see if it works, see how people feel. Honestly, I feel like they should just put it in because at this point, who the hell cares? And you could, if anything, you're just gonna bring people back from Gears 3. So fuck it, put it back in. Nobody's gonna care. You're not gonna hear people complaining like, "Oh fuck, I got a shotgun and a rifle. This sucks." That's not gonna happen. So just put it in, make everybody happy, please.
Yeah, a classic playlist or test playlist is probably the best thing they've introduced on the damn game, to be honest. Since the free DLC and up to this point, I had an absolute I can't play anything else. I don't know. I could if they took it away, I could be like, okay, I'll play a little bit more, but you better deliver on this next DLC. But seriously, like I had more fun playing that because it felt more Gears of One-ish than even when I was talking initially when everyone's running around with shotguns and you got that pace back. There's no stopping power. So you could clearly see like the gap in players that were heavily relying on rifle use that couldn't do anything when you got CQC. And then you could really tell in this classic playlist, like, all right, who has good movement, and when they switch to their shotgun, can they actually finish you up with a shotgun, or are they just trying to sit back and lancer, and just rely on what I would have called stopping power back in the day because they couldn't track. So I think this classic playlist really, and I tweeted like I feel like I'm in God mode when I'm in that because I have the best of both worlds. So it's like I can play the rifle game. If someone breaks that plane, I can switch to my Nasher and clean up the kill. I do feel like the nades kind of can throw off the balance a little bit, but I really don't know if they want to keep the loadout system intact. Like, how do you fix that? Do you go spot smokes? I really don't know. That's one thing to kind of consider.
The special event they had, the snub pistol wasn't even in existence at all. So, I think they mentioned it on on the Epic live stream last week about when they bring in that test playlist. I believe the snub can be there, but it wasn't. It was for the quick fix that they made that special event. It wasn't even there, so I don't know. I'm not sure what they can do, like in terms of going back to D-pad controls and stuff like that, or else we just don't see a snub. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't really care to have the snub. Like, I honestly don't. Like, you have ammo on the map. Like,
yeah, you almost don't need it when you
almost don't need
those
it.
two
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, you drop one for a power weapon. You almost don't need it, but it's a good weapon. But yeah, you really don't.
Like when you go with a Lancer, you don't really need to change over to the snub. But when you go with the Gnasher, obviously the Gnasher users need the snub more often than the Lancer users. And what really boggles me is that by making one primary weapon in this game, you make it more team-based. Like, you need to rely on the guys that blow it out with other guns, but then the maps don't have any team cohesion whatsoever. So it's
Right.
like it's kind of pulled apart the gameplay like in two extreme directions.
The snub came into play when a player, would drop their rifle for, a torque or something, and then they ran out of torque. I actually preferred the snub over the Lancer in Gears 3, so I used it like straight up, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Then
I
everybody
use it a lot.
Everybody remember the times in Gears 1 where snub was actually dirty and really good?
Yeah, man. It's an awesome game.
Remember the times you could, if you were so good, so on point, had a fast shot, you could rip a kid's head before you even finished a roll?
One clip, yeah.
And not everybody could do that. It took a lot of skill. It was not something simple. Like, it was good, but that'll never happen again because as each Gears comes out, it's a completely different pistol almost, it feels like.
Pistol headshots was a good... that wasn't necessary.
Well, it wasn't necessary, but it was awesome.
Didn't it actually blow your head off?
Yeah, in Gears 1, it blew your head off. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 shots to the head. Well, 5 shots in the last to the head, obviously.
One,
But
yeah.
But I mean, it was good. It was really good. I don't know. And Girl Poison has something in the chat, and I think we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I know I've been talking about it with people. Was if Judgment's such a failure and numbers are going down and people are going back to Gears 3, should we, as a competitive community, push Gears 3 and try to get that back? And here's the problems with this. You try to push Gears 3, I'm almost certain Epic's not going to really want to back that. Because they don't want to... I don't think that Epic would accept that Judgment's such a failure the competitive community went back to the older Gears.
Yeah.
Not to mention... Yeah.
And the thing about having these tournaments is like to push sales too, like for viewers, like wow, Judgment looks really fun, I want to go buy it. You watch it on a tournament. And promoting an old game, I mean, Gears 3 is not really the game to be sold. I mean, they're not going to make profit on it at this point. So that's really what events come down to. So long story short, I guess we lose the support of sponsors and stuff grabbing an old title.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Guys, am I staticky still?
Yeah, try playing with your mic, your actual mic. Try moving that around. That might be it. Or put it into the other ear. Maybe that'll do it.
Let me try.
So I think my issue with that is we've seen this same phenomena on, and again, this is something I mentioned on the last episode that really irks me about the community as a whole, is like I felt like Gears 3 was one of the... I mean, it was it was significantly better than Gears of War 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like the competitive community didn't really support the game because of, like, in my opinion now, we've seen Judgment, trivial stuff. Like, it was really trivial. And so to see them all hop on the bandwagon and be like, oh, let's get back on Gears 3 because, wow, we realized Gears 3 was the shit. It's like, man, where was this when we actually needed it? Where was the support?
Yeah, like
where were the people grinding? Where were you guys
stuff
at the tournaments? Like,
yeah,
this was a really good game, and all of a sudden you need something else in order to see that this was actually not a piece of shit. It was actually really good. That's probably one of the things that frustrates me the most about the Gears community in general, and it's almost across the board for every single game that you find this. Not just Gears. People do this on Call of Duty. They do it on Halo. Halo is notorious for that. But when Gears 3 was out, you had a certain group of people that didn't even want to play Gears 3. They were like, fuck it, I'm going to go back to Gears 2. When Gears 2 came out, you had even some of the pros are guilty of this. Some of the guys that are back now, like, I'm gonna call out a couple people. Venom was one. What was the other guy's name?
What?
That played quite a bit. and then he just dropped it after. I can't think of his name.
Gears 2?
Yeah, on Gears 2. Anyway,
Crank.
Well, Crank was kind of like he tried playing it, but I know he had family stuff.
Oh yeah, I could tell you. Great times. Great times.
But I mean, either way, it's like each time a game comes out, there's like these group of like people like, oh, this game is fucking shitty, and they're the competitive guys, and like, I'm not going to support this game. I'm going to go back to the old one, and it's like that happens every single game. So I don't really see the point in going back to Gears 3 when the same people were like, fuck this game, let's go back to Gears 2 or 1. It's like, this is the same thing you see every single time on every single game that comes out. Halo community, again, let me point them out right now. Every single Halo, you have a group of them that says, fuck this game, let's go back to the previous one. And then, I mean, you can see it on the forums, you can see it on the the Halo forums, you can see it on Bungie forums, you can see it on MLG's forums. They're notorious for that. So I can't really say, like, I feel like that would be any better. Because every single time there's a new franchise title, you have a group of people that say, fuck this game, let's go back to the old one.
All right, I want to jump in here. Can you guys hear me now?
You're much better now. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. If we have to revert to a game, I'm probably not going to get sponsors for Hype 3. Mm-hmm. Then therefore I can't have it. We can't revert. There's just no way. With this Xbox Live platform and selling your $60 game platform and DLC, you can't revert. You just have to go forward. Where like that's why like console gamers get envious of the PC gamers, because the PC gamers, they can just update their game whenever they want. They could make the game whenever they want. They don't have to adhere to a publisher to update the game. They can just do it. It's free as long as they pay for their bandwidth to push it out. And that's why we're kind of stuck. You know, if you guys revert, there's not going to be, like, you guys can play Gears 3 or Gears 1 as much as you want. No one's going to pay attention to you because you have to keep moving forward. That's what's nice about a game like League of Legends and all these games that just live off patching and people buying over time, because they keep making money, but it's still the same game. So we can't go back. If you guys are talking about going to Gears 3 or Gears 1 even, like, you can do it for fun, but you're not going to be taken seriously by sponsors or anything. It's just not going to happen.
Now, it's one of the reasons that, like, despite Counter-Strike community lasting for so long, like, you look back at 1.6 and you're like, man, that game looks like shit. And so you saw it after they were like at the 9-10 year mark, people were like, man, you guys got to move to Source. You guys got to do something else. I mean, and they were still pumping out tournaments and whatnot, but it was like, man, it was ugly to watch. They started losing out on sponsors. It's like, you can't go back. You can't.
No, you can't. It's not going to work. I understand what people are they want.
A lot of StarCraft pros too. I mean, guys playing Brood War after StarCraft 2 dropped, like saying no, like, I'm playing Brood War, I'm the best. I mean, eventually they make the transition because the tournaments are going to go stale.
I mean, you got to go to where the tournaments are. So if you're in the competitive community and you want to actually make the game work, you want to go where they are. I mean, where the money's at, if that's what you're chasing, you got to play the newest game, especially on console. You just got to do that.
Yeah. And, I mean, even with people looking to go back right now, the numbers are so low. The few that choose to go back, what are they going to go back to?
It's going to be a select community. It's going to be
there's going to be nothing.
It's not going to be, who wants to watch that? Nobody really wants to watch that.
No, nobody's going to want to watch that, and there's not going to be enough of a reason to do it. And, I mean, for me, the thing that worries me right now is, what we're talking about. You look at the numbers, at least what we can see in-game, the numbers they display. Yeah. The Judgment numbers are almost the same as the Gears 3 numbers. They're looking close to the same. But that's just based off what we can see, and if those numbers are actually accurate. And that's what's scary right now. It is scary. And, I mean, I did not expect this game to just die that fast, but it's really the content.
I predicted a 6-month shelf life.
Me too.
I thought it would go up until the new consoles drop, but goddamn.
A month, and we're like,
no.
A month. There's a hole in the boat. We got a quarter of a sail, and people are using buckets to try and toss it out. Like, it's terrible right now. Like, we need a miracle to keep this game going. Like, I think I said last week, maybe it was after the show. I think when we were talking, people are saying Judgment's on life support. No, you're wrong. If there was, like, a point between life support and the plug being pulled, like maybe somebody's hand's on the port and the plug's kind of dangling in the outlet,
just the electricity of the human.
Yeah, that's where Judgment is. Or maybe there's just, like, the reserves on the batteries still going from the plugs being pulled. That's where Judgment is right now. It's scary. There's like, nothing good happening for Judgment. This DLC was like it wasn't anything to be excited about. at all. It wasn't a game type that everybody's like, fuck yeah, let's get on Judgment and play. It's like, wow, we got gun game. That's great.
It sucks because like I have a lot of fun on Judgment, and people, we all kind of gave it praise when it first dropped. A lot of the changes were nice, but not only were the sales weren't there. The content's not enough, and it got over with the number of maps real quick. See, I play Gears when there's something to compete for. Otherwise, it's not really worth the time investment for me. This is just a personal thing. I'd rather put my time somewhere else because to me, I treat competing in Gears as a part-time job, and just take it real serious. And I play with people that have the same mentality, and we take it on a professional level like that.
And to add to what you're saying real quick, Rob, is like that is a new lifestyle. That is a lifestyle, and that is the type of gamer that all these companies need to see. Like there are people that when they get really good at the game, they want something to do with those skills, or else they just drop off. So
exactly. So when I have no reason to play Gears, like I can't just let myself get on and have fun because I need to be making money. I have to make a living. So yes, it is recreation and it's fun, and I do it because it's fun, but I also do it because there's an ultimate goal. And when there's no tournaments for me to play for in Gears, I don't play it, even though it's my favorite game. I just don't. So it sucks because it's fun for me, but if people aren't playing it, then I have no reason to scrim. And if I'm not scrimming, then I'm not getting online. So my teammates agree with that too. We're all the same mentality. Like we have fun on Gears, but we can't find a scrim. So when we can't find a scrim, we're just gonna play other games, and it sucks.
Yeah, it makes no sense too, because like what I keep hearing and like just looking at Twitter and talking to people are like, oh yeah, I'm not competing because there's nothing to compete for. It's like, well, jackass, why don't you think there's nothing to compete for? Because nobody's signing up. There's not going to be anything to compete for if you guys aren't signing up to compete. So that does not work. I can't just snap my fingers and poof, here's a tournament for you with a lot of money. It doesn't work. You got to sign up for the small stuff to get the big stuff.
Yeah. Just to clear up, like going pro in a video game, like that it should never be your job. Don't think what I said means don't get your education and go to school and have a career. You need a legitimate career. Treat it as a part-time job. Very, very.
Treat it as don't even treat it as a hobby.
Yep.
Yeah, like a hobby that can be.
Bo Jackson.
Exactly.
Jackson. He said, "I'm playing baseball, but football is my hobby."
But exactly. I mean, you're going to make more money having a legitimate part-time job, but turning your hobby into something lucrative is just a nice benefit. So make sure you're doing what you have to do to survive in life, not games. But just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah. I know also the wish list was apparently sent in. I didn't get to see it. I don't know what's on it.
I didn't get to see it either.
None of us saw it. I don't know. Yeah.
I've got it. Give me a second.
I don't know what the wish list fully entails. I didn't see it. It got sent in. I'm sure it's all right, but here's the thing. The wish list is in. Now Epic has to take this list, look at it, figure out what they want to do, what they can do, what they might do, all that. Then they have to try to make all that, put it in the game, make it work. And then they have to push a title update. By the time all this happens, it's going to be too late, I think. Right. I don't know.
Let me give you a rundown. And a lot of this stuff here, like there are obviously some fixes that they can tweak for Judgment in this. But then there's also a wish list here for like, just think about this in the future. Like just when you finally sit down and you start coding and like, where are we going to go with this and what are we going to put in? This is kind of the stuff that we put in here. So the main topics in an order of importance we sent over, and the topics were maps/content was number 1. Number 2 was the melee. Obviously, we've gotten so much feedback on the melee. So number 2 was melee. Number 3 was matchmaking and ranked incentive, and we have a whole write-up on that. Number 4 was weapon balancing, spawn versus power weapons. Number 5 was the grenade balancing, so that's specifically for Judgment only, because in the future, who knows what changes in the game. Number 6 was the audio in game, and a lot of the audio complaints, and a lot of the complaints actually had to do with Locust versus Cog, where you couldn't hear, like, when someone's like reloading, and it's a Locust, and the footsteps and everything. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Like behind you, like, "Dude, what's that?" And it's your teammate, and you think it's somebody creeping up on you. You can't really tell the difference. So we addressed that with audio. We mentioned a whole bunch of glitches that are happening, including getting stuck on walls and other things. And lastly, there's just final suggestions, and these are like this is like the mega wish list that we know we won't ever see probably in Judgment. But we threw in like upgrade the spectator mode if you ever get a chance, and throw in a theater mode so we can go back and make some badass YouTube videos. But this thing is like around 8 pages long, bulleted. It's 3 pages, but there's like an analysis on everything, like cause and effect. This happens. No, this is in the game, so this happens. We gave them everything. We took everybody's feedback. We looked at YouTube comments. Fatal got a ton of emails. CrReam even had like suggestions from his Twitch chat, his emails, his feedback. Like, so we just kept going everywhere. I kept reading the forums. I'm a big forum reader. I don't post a lot, but I kept reading the forums. And with all of that, we just kind of compiled everything. What was the priorities? And obviously, we've been talking about it tonight. Maps are the biggest priority in Judgment because the game would play a lot better if the maps were different. The gameplay is good, but the maps aren't there. So it was maps, melee, matchmaking, weapon balancing, grenades, audio, glitches, and then the final suggestions. And that thing is like 8 pages long. And you guys probably, if I started talking about everything and analyzing everything, it's what everybody's been saying. It's just completely compiled as a cause and effect document. And now they have it. There's even a diagram in here, and Fatal did an amazing, like, this is amazing. We have data in here, so it's like we stood in front of each other for like 3 hours. And it's like, all right, I'm going to kill you with my Lancer. How long did that take? Is there a headshot multiplier? No. And it was like, we counted like, it's 12 bullets to kill. If you do it for, like, if you hit every bullet, it kills you in 1.2 seconds. Like, and we did this across the board for everything. And then after we did that, then we factored in cover and, pop shotting. Like, obviously, you want a Nasher in a close CQC fight. I'm just going to say that. Because you can pop and kind of... you can protect yourself. You can go to cover, pop, whereas the Lancer, you can't do that. So there's all these things and all these factors. Everything is laid out, all this data, all this analysis, paragraphs upon paragraphs of why this happened. So hopefully, they take it serious. And I don't think we're going to see everything for Judgment, but, definitely there's some tweaks in here to be had. But this is just like, this is a lot of stuff that consider this for the future. Here you go. It's like all shining and golden. And that's what the wish list was. It was just a huge compilation of feedback from the community. Complainy, whiny, constructive, whatever you call it, we read everything.
It's pretty amazing that, we were able to come together and get that done. I mean, I hope we see that it actually, within whether it's a future title or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I hope they listen this time around. So.
Yeah, I hope so. And I know I'm probably going to get a ton of crap for just being nothing but negative tonight, but I want people to realize I understand that this DLC and everything is pre-planned. It's kind of out of their hands. Contracts are signed and all that. I know how it works. I get it. But it still sucks. There's nothing great about it. It doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change it. But I do understand. I understand that their hands are tied with certain things like this, and it was already a scheduled thing and it had to be put out, but it's just one of those things that I wish they could have taken it and put more into it somehow. Like, there had to have been a way to do it. I don't know.
Here's the thing with a contract, and I don't know the stipulation that they had, but I feel like if you... Maybe it's just Microsoft. If you had more, they just want to charge you more. It's like, no, we're not going to give them free shit. Charge those bitches. Yep. I don't know. I don't know the mentality behind that. I mean, I've encountered some of the things that they do, but I don't know the specifics what they had going on. But it just brings me back to that point of like, what was their plan beforehand, bringing out this DLC that they determined that there would be, the best bang for your buck. Is it a quick pit stop for a game that they expected to be a quick pit stop?
I feel like it was enough to classify as one of the DLCs that they needed to hit.
Bare minimum
for $10.
Like, we have to hit, what is it, 4 DLCs per the
2?
There's only 2. Like, come on, don't. when I pay $20 for a season pass, that's like 4 DLCs, right?
Dude, it's 2.
Come on.
It's 2. Rob, it's 2.
There's one more.
You didn't know it was 2? You thought it was 4?
Nah, man, I'm about to go back to GameSpot. I was like, yeah, you get something every month.
Dude, this is what I've been saying. Like, the content is like, what is up? What is their plan with this? Dude?
I'm looking
for 2.
free DLC.
Rob just looked like the kid who gets told like Santa Claus isn't
Yeah, he
real.
looks
Like,
a
just
little
like
kid, like, dude, you're not getting any more ice cream tonight.
Seriously.
Oh shit.
That's man.
Oh man, that face was priceless.
oh my.
Dude, it's 2, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Can I be devil's advocate one more time?
Sure.
Because I know this sucks. I know it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Like, those maps are all right. I'm not gonna like praise them, but in a world where people get a free game and they're paying $6 to $8 to $14 and $18 for just a skin for their character to look different on the same map. And the fact that there's all these people buying horrible music on iTunes for $2 a pop, that's only 3 minutes. Like, the media and what it values right now, like whatever value that is, like how much is a map? How much is a song? How much is...
What are you saying?
is, like,
Consumers are idiots?
Yeah, dude, it's all over the place. It's so random. So it's like, here I have a map that I played on this map. I played the playlist for already, like, I played Master at Arms probably already for an hour and a half, and I spectated it for another hour. And then I'm on these maps running around. I must have played 5-6 games. So that's a lot longer than a 3-minute song for $2. But I'm just saying, like, the media market is just so weird, random, up in the air. And now we have a new generation coming in of how we're going to sell games. And games are now turning into services. It's like, yes, it sucks for $10, but, like, is it worth more than, like, getting a Long Island for 8 at a box?
Here's
Like,
the issue with that is, like, they already charge you $60 for the fucking game.
Yeah, it's not like I'm getting charged $60 for a CD, and then it's like, hey, you want this new song? It's pretty awesome. You're gonna like it. $5, and it's like,
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I said. They're taking the free-to-play model and saying, no, we're going to turn this into a box product, and you're going to pay full price. So there's a big difference between what you're saying and the practices that go on, and the value that you get versus buying a $60 box product, coming up a little short on that, and then charging you additional for content that is bare minimum.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, people are paying, I don't know why, all these Microsoft points on all these skins and stuff, which don't even get me started on those prices. But
If I'm not getting it in the that shitty ass rare prize box, I'm not buying
that's the
it.
best thing. It's like, hey guys, here's all these skins you get in the prize box, but guess what? All the actual good ones you have to pay for.
Did you guys play Mass Effect 3? Because that's seriously what Mass Effect 3 was, except you would get ammo and stuff in Mass Effect 3, but you'd randomly get a gun, you'd randomly get an awesome gun, you'd randomly get a skin for your character. It was
You
just
said
like,
all things that actually matter. Like, they give you experience points, dude. Rare prize box, 1,000 XP.
The hell do I care about experience for? It doesn't make me a better player, or like make me look better. Like, it's, oh wow, I got XP.
it's a time sink indicator. That's all it is, dude.
You said everything that I wanted for Mass Effect, but I don't get that in Gears. I get XP. 250, 500, and 1,000. 1,000 is the rare one, the ultimate drop.
The ultimate
last
drop.
boss, final boss.
That's like 6 kills, right? Like, not even.
I'm actually saving all my prize boxes. I got about like 30 right now.
Dude,
I mean,
that's gotta be on
I don't
stream. Just ching, ching.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I get like 50 to 100. If unless I just decide I'm done playing, then I'm gonna make a video.
We have to
Got
tweet
to look
that out. I will blast that out. It's like, just say how many times you got experience and you're already capped. Like,
Right. See
That's
how
gotta
it
be
goes.
good. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
serious.
just thinking about that, the epic last box, the final boss. It's like walking in and like the boss has no limbs and can't really do much. Like, just rolls around trying to bite you. You can't. I don't get so much. I don't get. I don't know why I'm doing this to
one more
myself.
DLC for this game?
There's just one more, and maybe a flashback map.
Oh, what about that map we still haven't gotten? That was part of the pack that already came.
hey, dude, that's free. That can come whenever it wants, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's only free because Maxim paid for it.
Rob,
gonna
I'm
bring
blown
everyone
away.
back.
Like, how
well,
funny
'cause
is
Gears
it? Like,
3
Rob,
was
you
like
like,
4,
man,
right?
we got plenty of DLC coming. Like, yeah, we get 3 maps here. We're gonna get
3
3,
maps
4
there.
more maps. Then we're gonna get another 3, 4 more maps. Then we're gonna get about another 3, 4 more maps. 6 months.
Look at this in the look at this in the
20 maps.
look at this in the chat though. One of the few good things that they try to do with Gears was the Reaper. And Quinn in the chat right now says the Reaper almost didn't make it. People didn't understand the value behind it.
Which
The
means
Reaper's-
someone probably pushed that forward. That's in the chat.
It's great thing. Right? Ultimately, I think what pushed the Reaper is that the developers just wanted to troll everybody and use that guy.
Yeah,
It's really what I think made it in.
yeah. I understand that. And the
It's
whole
like, let's just play God.
well, it's great. The Reaper thing is
It's
great. I
awesome
mean,
being able to bring vote on people and let everybody mess around with it. It's cool. That type of interaction is awesome.
yeah, it's cool, but I don't understand the whole voting system behind the Reaper. It's like I got to go post in the Epic forums, which is like the scariest place in the world for me. Because
Yeah,
if I even mention the word competitive, I'm getting chased down the street with
That's a bad
pitchforks and
neighborhood.
torches. Like I can't do it. So I got to go in the forums, post in there. None of them know me or give a shit about me because I'm competitive. So me saying, "Hey, I want to be Reaper," doesn't do anything because I have to really be known in the forums. It doesn't go anywhere because if you look at all the Reapers that have been chosen, they're really all kind of epic forums, community involved. Like, there's no real like competitive or big name people that have been a Reaper. Like, why has Arctyc not been a Reaper? Why has you guys?
You could be a Reaper.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's the only place you
No.
can use the Reaper.
No, yeah, I know.
don't play in quick match.
I understand it. I understand it all, but I'm just. I'm just using you as an example, right? Like, why have you not been one? You guys all hate him because he's not a competitive guy and just does casual stuff on YouTube. But how has GOWJ not been approached to be a Reaper? With how many people he brings to a gear stream, if he hops on Twitch and says, "Hey, I'm a Reaper, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch," yada yada, he's going to have like over 1,000 people in there watching, bringing people to watch Judgment. You know, like those are things like I don't understand how those haven't been thought of. Like getting the people who can actually push content and push the game to be doing stuff like the Reaper.
I want to see an all Reaper free for all on Gondola.
Down. Yo, the
Just be like,
float shot, float
It'd
scoop.
be fun to see.
I
But
haven't
no,
seen it in
seriously, like I don't really care to be a Reaper because from what I've read about it, you have to play a quick match. So I was like, well, I'm not going to play quick match. So it's like, well, I'm not even going to be. I mean, I just based off of how I play, I have too much pride to play quick match. Like
I was
gonna say that
until I couldn't.
like, I'm just too prideful as a person to be like I'm gonna play quick match when that's like I just won't do it, dude.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. But when it takes 10 minutes to find ranked games, like you kind of have to play quick match.
I won't do it. I'll just sit there and wait, dude. I got my PC right here. I'll boot up a game of Smite while I'm waiting 45 minutes for a ranked match. Hold on. I got something I wanted to.
I was gonna say I'm interested to see what they do with playlists after this week because essentially this is the last week that they have to adhere to the VIP playlist because it's like, oh, you got your DLC up front. You know, we have a week now. Once that goes away, I don't know if they're working on it. I know they said they want to work on playlists, but essentially this is the last week that they have to have all those playlists. Once this VIP, you got it a week ahead of time thing runs out, it'd be nice to see a consolidation.
Yep. It'd be nice to see it. I'm afraid what's going to happen though, because I don't know what's going on with all. I haven't talked to them. I haven't really approached them to ask about it. So partly my fault, but I don't know how they're really looking to consolidate all the lists, and I'm worried it could be something they're just trying and don't exactly know how to do it because they're so used to doing what they've been doing. This is the third Gears it's been like this, where it's been just a complete mess of playlists. So they're going to try to now go back and do it a whole different way and consolidate them. I don't know how it's going to look, but at this point, what does it matter? At least try something. You know?
There was a really good question. I'm trying to find what video it was on. But for like the people that'll probably either watch this, when we repost it on YouTube, or the guys in chat that aren't playing Gears, and we kind of touched on it just a second ago. But the question was something along the lines of, why do you still play Gears of War Judgment? Why wouldn't you go back? And I think we kind of all alluded to it based off of our involvement with the competitive scene. But, for one thing, there's the fact that from a competitive standpoint, you can't regress for sponsored purposes and things of that nature. You can't go back. Or you have to be a PC title, I think, in order to do that successfully. The other thing is, for me, is like, and I've wanted to just publicly address this because there's people that ask me for whatever reason, like, why are you still supporting this shitty ass game? And so this is a twofold thing. First off, I don't think Judgment is shitty. I think it's okay. A shitty game was like The Outfitter. A shitty game is like Alien vs Predator. A shitty game is like
Come on, man. Why you gotta bring that up?
what's another game that's really fucking bad that
Brink?
I played here recently? Brink. A shitty game is like Brink. Like Gears of War Judgment is not those games. Like it's not as good as Gears of War 3. It's better than Gears of War 2 in terms of traditional multiplayer, but it doesn't quite meet the expectations of what people have. I think based off of what Gears of War 3 kind of set, despite all the hate that it got. For me personally, Gears of War 3 was a better and more polished game, but it's not bad. So for me, in addition to all the things that they said about the competitive community, I never regress on games. Like, I'm not one of those guys that's like, I'm going to go back and play Gears of War 1 because that was the shit. I don't think like that. It's like, I want to see the direction that Epic plans to take this, and I'm going to do everything I can in my power to be like, all right, guys, this is fucked up. You shouldn't have done that. Go back this way a little bit, or don't do that next time. Try this out. And that's always been my goal. Like, going back on Gears of War 3 doesn't really allow me to see what progress they make on the new game. Because usually once you drop a game, this is really, I'm going to use free-to-play models in this, people don't usually go back. And what you find in betas and stuff like that, people play it one time, they never come back, ever. So it's very rare for you to get repeat customers in gaming because there's so many games to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for me, being as attached as I am to the Gears of War franchise, I love it. I would like to see the direction that they steer this title. And I would like to try to adjust it so they don't fucking sink the ship. It's just like, I just don't understand how you could not want to be involved and see like, okay, what is the progress that they're going to make versus saying, you know what, fuck this game, I'm going to go back and play the old one. I'd rather see where the ship is going and try to steer it, or nudge them or something, put an iceberg in the way, just something to help it out versus just abandoning ship. So maybe that's like customer loyalty or whatever, support, whatever you guys want to call it. But it's not me defending the game. It's not me thinking that the game is the shit and it's the best thing ever. But it's just a matter of going the route of, like I said, just kind of helping them along the way. And I see Meta Knight said, he tweeted me saying that Gears of War 2 is a better game than Gears of War Judgment. Like, I think I probably speak for most of you guys in this stream when you bought Gears of War 2 and your fucking shotgun was shooting in the goddamn ground.
Yeah.
Like, how can you possibly think that fucking Gears of War 2 is a better game?
Ragdoll smokes.
Ragdoll
What the
smokes.
fuck?
The speed is slower. It was fucking like 75% of the game speed. How? Stopping power is introduced.
Hammer burst.
Aiming at people like, I don't even have to aim anymore. Let me just shoot him right in his face and watch him drop before he can move.
Nade
How
tags.
is that game better?
Nade tags.
It was a fucking mess of a game.
It sucked.
That game was the shittiest Gears of War game I played. It's one of the worst multiplayer experience games I've ever played in my life.
Clunky.
And this is coming from KL, who won an event.
This is someone that went through the whole fucking year playing MLG, won a goddamn event. That game was awful, terrible, and people at Epic will say it's terrible. That's how bad the game is, because the code on it sucked. The game was shit.
Of course it'll take skill.
I've talked to people there like, man, this game was fucked up. I don't know what we were fucking thinking about.
It was still a team-based game, and it stuck to the roots of Gears, but yeah, it had so many bugs and issues. Gears 3 was like a million times better than Gears 2 in terms of how smooth and clean it was. And I think if Gears Judgment, if we were made aware that like Gears Judgment was intended to be the game that it is, probably wouldn't have had so many people disappointed.
Yeah.
But like if Gears of War Judgment was,
that makes me so pissed off, dude. Do people play games? Like, people actually play games outside
I
of
think this is the problem. Yeah. I think the problem. Yeah. I think the problem is with Gears 2. When people think Gears 2 was a better game, they look back. The first thing I think of was, how did you do competitively? Because 90% of the people who love Gears 2, they had great success in Gears 2 competitively, so that eliminates them.
It doesn't make sense though, because Arctyc won an event.
I know. But these are people.
Yeah. So did you, Kenny. Yeah. I don't love that game.
Well, I don't want to talk about Gears 2.
I just love competing, and like Gears 2 was supported, and it was able to compete on it, so it was great fun.
I know, and like, but I'm not saying everybody's like that.
I'm gonna go with what Barbosa said. Like, I have very little faith in what people consider to be tasteful, well-polished games. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Well, the thing is, they
Kesha. She fucking sucks.
Thank you. There's my point. Those things are flying off iTunes right now.
Like, you think Gears of War 2 is a good game? Have you played a bad game
Are you a believer?
to compare?
I gotta.
You think Gears of Judgment is a bad game?
My
Have you played a bad game
You
to
haven't
compare?
played Kabuki Warriors on the Xbox. You have not played that game. So
I
if
just feel
Judgment,
like maybe my game history is just too expansive for a lot of people. Because I
I
played some
could
really
put
shitty-ass fucking games.
I completely feel you there. I play everything. I can't play one game for more than like a few days. I'm on every single game that comes out. For Christ's sakes, I was playing Kerbal Space Program and Surgeon Simulator and all. I play everything. So when I see a game
That's
like Gears 2,
frustrating, man.
the only people I can see really like, oh, that game was great. It's like, what else do you play besides Gears that you're like, well, Gears 2 is amazing. Do you know how bad that game really was? Do you get it? For a game to come out where I'm basically shooting shotgun shots out my toes, I might as well have barrels on my boots. Like,
Gears 2 makes me so pissed off. Like, you guys just don't know how pissed off about that game I get because of the random ass shit that would happen in that game. You get smoked down, you're fucking wiggling on the ground for 8 seconds. You get up, and then you shoot at someone that gets stunned. They don't die. What? What? You smoke stun people through a map. You smoke stun people on river on the boom shot. They fly up through the middle of the map. You smoke people. They fly across the map. You smoke people. They can't get up. They're stuck and stuff.
Let's talk about stasis. Gears 2 stasis. You get stunned on the steps. You're sliding down. It's like, oh, what's up, man? Oh, not much, bro. I'm just sliding down the steps. I'll be up in a second, bro. I'm coming.
It's dead.
Oh man,
It's dead.
let's talk about Judgment.
it's irritating, man.
Like a new developer company, People Can Fly. They have the ability to create a game with the Gears of War franchise. You know this game's going to sell big. Maybe they had the rights to give their own twist on it. I know that Jim Brown mentioned on the show last week that when they were talking about maps, he had said that Rod Ferguson, but I believe that he said that Rod Ferguson was like asymmetrical maps this time around. And maybe the team went with that, and obviously free-for-all was a big deal, Overrun was introduced, whatever the case. If we knew that this game was, not intended for traditional Gears of War play before we bought it, maybe we wouldn't have bought it. So that would have affected sales. I understand that. But it's kind of like we were kind of lied to because it said Gears of War on the cover, and it doesn't feel like Gears of War what we're used to. Judgment's a good game for what it is intended to do. It's fun for free-for-all if you enjoy that. Overrun's cool. It's not what we're used to, so in that sense, like, it's disappointing to the dedicated fan base. And I think we just need to accept that more. Judgment's good. It's good at what it does, and it's good at what it was intended to do. Free for all is fun. Overrun apparently is fun, but it sucks for the fan base that they had so dedicated into the traditional team-based like paintball play style, 4v4, all that stuff. It's not here. And that's what we want. So, I mean, the ultimate game would probably bring all that stuff together in some successful way, but it's not Judgment right now.
Yeah, here's the thing. If I know people bring up a lot the comparison, they're calling Gears of War Judgment like Gears of War ODST. They're trying to use that.
Yeah.
What Epic probably should have done if they're trying to implement all these things and new things, and pretty much, the actual multiplayer side wasn't that in depth at all. Like, it was like a few things in this because they worked so hard on free for all. And free-for-all like maps and overrun map design. What they should have done is basically like an ODST. They could have thrown in these 2 new game types and just brought over the Gears 3 multiplayer onto the disc. Yeah. And everybody probably been like, well, this fucking blows, but they would have probably been a lot more happy than what happened. Because you wouldn't have had to add all this new stuff. You would have had pretty much all the stuff you need to make the game work on a multiplayer side. And it probably would have been a better experience. Instead, they got all these maps designed for free-for-all. Like, I'll bring up the map again, Blood Drive. Like, how in the hell does that weapon layout get through QA or whatever it goes through and go public? And they're like, yes, this fucking rules.
And like I had every single one of my friends buy all the previous Gears games, just right along with me. They know I'd be playing. They had a blast on it. They didn't even know about Judgment, so that's one thing. So I had to convince a couple friends later to maybe get it, and that didn't really happen. And then the other thing was I lost train of thought. Continuing, I had something really good.
That's all right. I mean, I just I
That's
don't
a big
understand
thing.
it.
There was poor advertisement for one. My friends weren't even interested in grabbing this one.
Mhm.
Oh, and it should be $40 because like I don't think people should be there. Listen, 2005, there was a football game called, and you guys probably played it because Madden just secured like the rights to the NFL on the Xbox, and they were like, we got the NFL for like 4 years, and then NFL 2K5 or NFL 2K2 was it? I don't forget. I'm old. But anyway, there was a football game, and it was 2K something, I think. This game was $20, and it was the best football game I've ever played, and it was so much better than the Madden that came out that year. ESPN NFL 2K5. Thank you. Oh my God, me and my friends played this game forever, and like I think it's probably sold like just as good as Madden did at $60. And this game was 20. Like that was one of the most because they knew that they didn't have the license for NFL. Let's just undercut the shit out of it. Like who doesn't drop $20 on the football game? It was awesome. It was so good. So I don't know. I'm just saying that like, you like maybe you would have sold more copies if it was 40, and we understood that if it's $40, okay, we can't expect everything from Gears 3. You know, the price point is obviously right. For me, it would have been 40 for this game. At this point, after seeing what we got.
It's a nerd tax, Rob. It's essentially when something comes out, you pay full price for it because you want to be the first one to have it. You want to be the first one competing in it. You want to be the first one playing it. It's just a nerd tax, like opening night for movies and stuff. Movie theaters, they make their most money up front when they're projecting the release, and then over time the theaters make money the longer they carry a movie. So it's the nerd tax. If you really want that game at $60, you'll buy it at $60 when it comes out, and that's their industry standard right now. That's why I think, like, I'm not slamming consoles, but the business model is just old. You buy a game for $60 unless it's like some no-name company that isn't a AAA studio that just wants to put out some franchise bullshit. Like you're going to pay $60 when it comes out. And then after that, the price degrades depending on sales, and if they can get more people to buy it. That's just how it's going to be.
Yep.
We bought it for $60.
It sucks. I don't get it. It's just everything just sucks. It's not really. There's no way to leave this episode on a high note, like hurrah, we got this. Not happening at all. But I mean, it's really.
Yeah, I'm all about like supporting Epic in terms of I want to buy their games. I want them to continue making games, but I don't think the price point was right for what we got.
No, it wasn't. That's why I said, like, if they were going to do what they did, just bring up the ODST example. That's just an idea, though, even if it could be done or they wanted to do it. But, I mean, then at least they would have been able to focus more on Overrun or Free-for-All and whatever new things they wanted to add in and not really had to do much on the normal side. And people probably would have been happy with it. But that's a lot of ifs. And, it's just...
You're not as pissed, yeah.
Yeah. I probably would have been a lot happier with that than what happened because I do enjoy Judgment. I enjoy the gameplay of it. I really do. I had a blast playing the crap out of it the first 2 weeks, but that was the first 2 weeks. Then it was like, okay, this map blows. This map only blows a little. This map's all right. This map's all right. Oh, Haven came. All right, this map's good, and this map I don't even want to see anymore. It reminds me of day one, and. this map I can deal with, and this map I now hate too. So then it's like there's like really only 3 maps I enjoy. So then this comes out, it's like I can't believe Blood Drive was put in. I want to stab my eyes,
dude. I think it's amazing that in execution
the code that they put in.
Oh,
Sky talked about.
Did
you guys hear about this?
What?
The code, yeah.
There's like a line code for the maps, and there's like a bunch of Gears 3 maps.
I really think it
upwards
was just,
of 10, but it's nothing. It's
nothing. I really think it was just leftover, but
it could be. It could be leftover code.
I'd
love to be surprised and just see a bunch of free maps come our way, but I really just think it was like the way the naming convention was on them. It just seemed like it was leftover, and it even affirmated the fact that these maps were called Gondola FFA, like. The maps had this FFA in the string title that just looked like that, these maps were designed for it. If we didn't already know that, but we do know that, so make sure everyone understands that. These maps were designed for free-for-all.
Oh, yeah, that's clear as day right now. You're just looking at Blood Drive. It's like, all right, this was an execution-only map. It doesn't work. I already said this earlier, it doesn't work for other stuff. Let's make it work for free-for-all and all this and design it clearly for free-for-all. Even though it'll still probably work great with Dom and execution, but You know,
Yeah,
free
same
for all,
thing.
free for all, free for all. But will free for all sell you copies? Hell no!
No.
What is wrong with you? Free for
No.
all? Why is it even called Gears of War if you're pushing free for all? Like, I understand it. You have a game type, you're proud of it. You're like, yes, we got free for all and Judgment. Like, we want to make it. You're proud of your little baby, putting it in. It's great. But free for all is not going to sell copies of Gears of War, and every map is designed for free for all. They even made Blood Drive like free for all, and that's a goddamn Gears 2 map. Like, I feel like if they even brought back War Machine now, that's gonna look like free for all. You're gonna have a, I don't even know what. You're gonna have a goddamn, what the hell is it called now? Like, I'm going nuts in my mind right now. It's like everything's heating up. I'm just blood pressure through the roof. But like they're gonna remake something. They're gonna make it like free for all. Like Gridlock will have tunnels to go under Boom Shot, and this will pop up here, and then you'll pop up a fucking elevator shaft. Like, I don't know. Like, they're just gonna add stuff more ways ins and out and just ruin it.
They'll put the Bushka at the Troika. You just
Yeah, like, it worries me because it's like, I get it. You like free for all. We enjoy free for all, but we
It'd be like a
really
pitching
don't
machine.
care
Yeah.
about free for all.
I think
Like a
that
pitching machine up there.
what
Yeah, really.
what is kind of confusing is the way they worded the initial campaign or the marketing campaign was that maps were specific to game types. I don't know if you guys remember that, but obviously there was like Overrun is going to have Overrun maps.
yes.
And then I kind of thought like some of the other maps would be a little bit different, but basically everything, traditional multiplayer, all the maps have to work with those specific game types. And then we see hacked in things like, okay, no boom shot for execution because clearly execution doesn't work with these weapon swaps and maps and stuff like that. So I don't know if maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but I felt like when they started their campaign push, they said something along the lines of maps will be specific to game types. So I thought I didn't think there would be as much of an emphasis on free for all as there is, but I mean, obviously it's universal across every single map, and you know it works for some games, but the whole linear thing or verticality thing for traditionally vertical or I'm sorry, linear gameplay is not ideal. I don't think across the board. Kind of just takes away from some of the things that we've been mentioning in the past couple episodes.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like beating a dead horse talking about it. I mean, it's just, I don't understand it.
Go to some chat stuff.
Yeah, you guys have some questions you'd like us to answer, please feel free to put them in the chat. Or tweet them at us, you know, whichever.
So, I want to talk about something. I think there's a map name that is shared across Halo, Call of Duty, and Gears of War now. You guys know what I'm talking about here?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't that something?
Terminal, yeah.
Terminal was in Halo 2
Two.
or 2. Yeah, it was a map that was sort of like an L. It was kind of shaped like an L, and there was warthogs on it. And that was a fun map. It reminded me of this. Yeah, that was a good map. And then Terminal is in Black Ops 2, which you guys know, good search and destroy map. And now we have it for Overrun.
One of the best. Such a destroy map.
Just want to
Yeah.
say, because nobody talks about Overrun and Terminal, Terminal is really difficult for the Locust to push in on the first point. Man, it is so hard. Like, every time we push in, it's like 10 seconds left on that first E-hole, and then the second and third one are not that bad. But that first one, I mean, like, you'll break the map on that first E-hole. And that's for the Overrun fans. I know nobody likes to talk Overrun here, but it's a decent map once you get past that first E-hole.
I would talk more
It's
Overrun.
rough, man.
No one, I don't think anyone any of our viewers really play it as much as
I enjoy it.
I do.
I enjoy it. I understand the problem people have with it, like, oh, like, they don't understand, like, they're trying to think of scenarios like a player clutching with a wrench or a ticker, and it's thought of like comical, and they don't get it. It's like, I get it, you know, because it's kind of thought of like beast mode, but a little more hardcore. It's basically what it is, but I enjoy it. I get the point of it, but it just wasn't done as good as it could have been done. You know, like how does one side have upgrades and the other side just spawn? It doesn't work.
Hey, Terminal was a Call of Duty 3 map, and it was the map with the plane.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Yeah. I was
Yeah.
totally thinking of Express for a second.
I just let it slide. I knew it.
Yeah, that was an awesome map on COD 3. Anyway.
Where do you see Gears Judgment in a month's time.
Modern Warfare 2. Yes.
I don't know. I think I have to see in a month. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what direction. Maybe they could announce something that'll have people like, yes, classic playlist across the board, then numbers spike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what I've been telling them. They have to announce something and get people excited. I was telling Rexilla that it was a week or two ago. I think it was on Twitter, but I was saying, you guys need to announce something, get some hype built up for the game.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hype it. Here we go, guys. You're here. I'm gonna start saying shit. It's not set in stone official, but it's pretty much going to happen once a pen hits paper. So here we go, guys. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this, and I'm going to lead up to it. I'm not going to say it right now. I'm going to lead up to it, okay? First thing on the agenda that we're going to do to get people coming back to play, and this is Hype, and then Hype is going to talk with GearsCon. I've already had a couple conversations with GearsCons. They did that Cities of Gears things with GOW3, and what we did was we had 7 locations around the country. People came to play for 2v2s. It was easy to do because 2v2s, it's easy to pick up a team. Hey, bring a buddy, come play. We're going to do social, pretty much. We're going to get like 8, 9 locations. We're going to do like a social. So show up. It doesn't matter if you have a team or not. Just plug it. Come play Gears. The LANs will have enough discs, they'll have enough stations, and you guys could just have a great time. We're going to go around the country at least once doing that, and hopefully if that works out, a month later, you're going to go around the country again, but this time we'll have competition, so hopefully the people in the regions already met each other, and they'll be ready to bring other people and actually have some 4v4 matches. So we're going to do that first, all right? So I'm still leading up to what we're going to do. I love Master at Arms. The fact that Master at Arms came out, I think, actually makes a better, more competitive free-for-all mode. It's not as random as we were discussed standard free-for-all, because weapon placement and you can't really fight for the weapon position before the weapon's slowed up. So Master at Arms actually makes it possible to like actually have a fun free-for-all on the side at these events. So we're gonna have these like little events where we'll go around the country. We'll do it once. We'll see. People show up, then we'll do it again, and this time we'll have competitions, we'll have something to play for, but again, it's going to be like local stuff, don't expect like lights and cameras and MLG and that treatment. We just want to get people together playing the game. And then for Hype 3, okay, here it is, guys. I'm ready to put the pen on the paper. This is what's happening, this is what's going down, and the fact that you guys are like scaring me because you don't like this game, it's like, we need this game, we can't regress. And if this game doesn't work, then what I'm going to do is throw all the Gears in there, and hopefully everybody will come out to hang out, and we'll still have a competition, but it's not going to be like that main competition you want. So here's what's going to happen. August 2nd. I know it's far. It sucks that it's far, but it's just what happened. I wanted Hype to be in April, but we didn't know if we had the settings or the game types or the playlist. So I dodged the bullet that way, right? August 2nd, we're looking to have it in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I know West Coasters are like, oh my God, right? It's in the East Coast again, but guess where Raleigh, California is? Can anybody? Raleigh, North Carolina is. Can anybody answer here?
Right next to Epic.
Yes, it's in Epic's backyard. The reason I want to have it over there in Raleigh is because I want that whole studio. They're gonna show up and they're gonna see what a competitive event is like. There is no excuse for anybody from Epic Games to not see what competitive Gears of War is. So hopefully, it's going to be a gathering of competitive players. It's going to be a gathering of spectators. It's going to be a gathering of developers. We're all going to be there. We're all going to have a good time. We're going to have like 6 to 8 stations. And guess what? It is at a rock concert hall venue. This is not no lame-ass hotel ballroom with the chandeliers and shit. That doesn't make sense, right? This is like a rock venue. We're going to have lights. We're going to have sound system. It's awesome, like this layout of this place. It has like these 2 balconies that you guys are going to be playing like on the 2 balconies on the sides. Then there's like the dance floor area where you guys will be playing down there too. And then there's a bar. So if you're 21 plus, you can go upstairs, have a drink, watch some Gears, come down, chill, and we're going to have free to play stations too. So it's like, come in and have a good time and enjoy the Gears culture. It's not just going to be a competition. This is something I've always wanted out of a competitive event. It's like, I hate going to MLG, and like I just kind of like, I look for a seat, first of all, and then you just watch. And then I know they have like the PlayStation station area to have a good time, but it's like, it's out of the culture. Like if you're there for League of Legends, StarCraft, or Call of Duty, you want to play League of Legends, StarCraft, or Call of Duty. You're not like looking for a promo game. So I'm hoping that this game doesn't die. We're going to be pushing competitions. We want you guys to compete, but we are giving you the Rockstar treatment. It is going to be full out. You want main stage? This is a main stage. I saw a picture at this venue. Daughtry played there back in 2007. The place was packed. 900 people fit in there standing up. So it's It's going to be a crazy ass venue. I don't think any other like grassroots movement has been able to pull something off like this, because we're not going small. We wanted to go on the way to big, but we can't afford it. So this is the Rockstar treatment at a scale that the Gears community can push and deserves. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will have more details soon. I'll have a teaser trailer. I'll have pictures. I'll have everything. The fact that there's like 350 people in here and you guys are really dedicated, I figured I'd give you some insight as to what we've been planning. And yes, that's what it is. We want to give you guys the Rockstar treatment, and we want to show all these other guys like, hey, this is how esports players and competitive players should be treated. We're rowdy, we're loud, we have a great time, we're awesome. I don't want to refine people's personalities, but keep it clean. And that's where we're at. So thank you guys for listening to me, but this is what we want to do. So support the game. Like let's drag it to August. And I don't care if you're competitive or not, just show up, play with your team anyway, because it's going to have a good time, and you could free play. So even if you like go 0-2, like you still can play and have a good time. I'm done.
All right.
Your passion
So
is
here's a
just
question from the
so
chat.
addictive.
I'm gonna basically, first off, again, I think the basis for the show is probably offering constructive criticism. And if you can't find the fine tune between where we say, hey, yeah, this is pretty good, but it's not for us, and where something needs to improve, then I think you're kind of missing the point of the show. But while I was just reading through some of the chat, Barbosa and people are like, hey, you're gonna bash the game for 2 hours, and then you're gonna say come to a LAN. Do you think that's contradicting? So I mean, in retrospect, I think the idea about this show and the concept of this show, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, is to shed light on issues with the game that we have. This isn't a fuddy-duddy like, hey, we're gonna praise the game, praise Epic. This isn't what this show is about. Like, we keep shit real. You know what I mean? Like, these are issues that are expressed to us on a consistent basis, and we are conveying them to you. And again, no one here is saying fuck Epic. No one here is saying, again, I mentioned this last time, go fuck their moms. They make shitty ass products, except for Gal 2. I will say that the multiplayer again on there is not very good. But no one there is saying, none of us here are saying that we can't stand anyone at Epic. You know what I mean? So we are here as people to project out and broadcast out the issues that people have with the game, and they want to see it improve. If you cannot understand that, this might not be the show for you. Like, you might be watching for the wrong reasons. Like, go find somebody that is, again, fuddy-duddy, like, you know, fuck, man, Epic is so awesome. They do all the coolest stuff. Let me get this weapon skin. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to do this. They can do no wrong. When they shit, I'll clean it up. No, that's not what we're about. So I think you're watching the wrong content if you're here thinking that.
Yeah, and I want people to understand, too, like, we don't say negative things because we hate the game and hate them. Like, well, I mean, I understand some people do hate the game, but we say these things because we have a love for the game, and it kills us to see what's happen to it right now. We want it to be great. We want it to reach that level it deserves, you know, but we speak like this because we have a passion for the game. We love it, and we don't want it to get any worse. We just want it to get better.
It's like seeing a family member on life support, right? You don't want that. But
No.
I also want to add, like, as much as we did, like, kind of bash, like, we're in a sense we're angry because it's constructive, but like just to give you guys, like, there's a big 5-figure number involved with setting up this event. You know, this doesn't magically appear. Like, somebody's got to put all the equipment in there. Somebody has to ship all the equipment. Somebody has to set it all up. Somebody has to coordinate the lights, coordinate the camera, coordinate the stream, take in the ticket sales. Like, there's so much involved that it doesn't just appear. Like, as a consumer of an event, you get to just walk in and you see everything. It's beautiful. But there's a ton of work that has to go into it. And ever since, like, I played Gears of War 1, and I didn't even know, like, competitive things were around. You know, that's when, like, the console industry, like, that was budding with Halo and Gears. I jumped in at Gears of War 2, and I had my camera at MLG at Meadowlands, I think 2009, and I have all this old footage of you guys playing Gears of War 2 at the Meadowlands, dude. And
I remember.
Yeah, dude, Raw Talent had, like, this whole chant section. I was bouncing between Halo and Gears, and I just stayed at Gears. I was like, this community is fucking awesome. They are off their rockers. Like, they yell, they scream, they trash talk. MLG's like, shh, stop, shh. But they couldn't help it. Like, Gears is so hype that I think the rest of the industry needs to see how much these people love this game. Like the 380 people in here, you guys need to show them what a hype competition is. Like when your true gamer personality yelling and screaming as a competitive gamer, there is no other community. I've been to events. It's been my job for the last 4 years to go to all these events. I've been to MLGs. I worked at IPLs. I've seen the fighting game community. I've watched DreamHack. I've seen everything. And Gears, the community in Gears, still has the best energy out of all these communities, hands down.
Like
I just wish we
competing on
had the
Gears,
game.
just it's really hard to describe, but like it's the only time you'll find me out of my element, like in that person. And people may watch me on the show. A lot of people see me like stream, and they're or all my videos. I'm like very calm, but like if you watch like a Astro Listening from Hype 2, you'll see a side of me that you wouldn't understand. And it's just that's what a lot of people get when you play Gears on in a competitive environment on LAN. And I haven't seen a game like this either, Jay. It's just there's just something about it. I mean, it's it's the most entertaining experience that I've ever been a part of, and I just I hope I want to keep moving forward with it. I really hope it's not diminished, and that's why we provide this constructive criticism, because there's so much potential with this show that can be put on with this game. It's insane, especially with the personalities and the hype and the gameplay itself. I mean, it's very entertaining. Just got to get people more aware of it.
Like people, a game is hard to understand when you come from all these other games. There's like an article out there from another developer bashing what Call of Duty gameplay is. Now not that I'm bashing Call of Duty, but it has like desensitized people to what actually good, worthwhile gameplay is, because you're happy that you come around the corner and you burst fire someone, and that's the end of your engagement. And how many times do you get in Gears and you're stuck around like a block of cover, whether it's a car or a staircase or something, and you bounce in and out, or you're bouncing around a car and you're trying to get shots, and then there's a regen and you guys start over again. You don't have those engagements in any other game, and it's the best thing to watch. It really is.
Yeah, that's why it sucks to see it the way it is right now with the numbers being so low.
Exactly.
It is what it is, but I think we've gone for so long, and every damn time I say I want to make it quick, it never happens. But if you guys want to close it out there, unless you have something else you want to touch base on. Nothing?
Trying to look at some questions in chat, and I can't really.
Reaper Snipe posted the video I was talking about, guys. If you guys want to see how ridiculously hype Gears of War can be on LAN, that's one of the best videos you can check out. Not because I'm playing, maybe, but seriously, you just see how loud teams can get, man. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think there it's safe to sign off. Don't really know what else to talk about at this point. We covered pretty much everything we can about the DLC and the state of the game right now. So if you guys want to kick it off, Rob, go first.
Okay. Awesome to have Jason here tonight. That's Miss Fatal Strike, but love talking to you, man. It's been a long time.
Always good.
KL, appreciate it. All you guys tuning in, my dedicated Gears heads, you guys are the shit. Anybody catching up on this on a later YouTube post, really try to shed light on how awesome Gears is, and let's look forward to this next DLC. I want to talk about one website that I put out recently. I always forget to promote it on here. If you guys are a fan of watching multiple Twitch channels, dualstreamnow.com, I'll spell it out in the site. It just lets you flip between 2, 3, and 4 channels at once. It's just a nice little tool. I made it because I wanted to use it to watch multiple tournament streams on the weekend. So if you're a fan of watching multiple streams, you can interact with all the chats and everything. So I'll link it out. And I'm working on another project too that you guys will like, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to leave it at that. But here's Dual Stream Now.
Cool.
That's it.
I guess I'll go next. Let me go next real quick.
Yep.
Shout out to Fatal Strike and Murray. Dude, we sat on this game at least for 14, 15 plus hours also making that wish list, taking in the data, reading the forums, reading YouTube comments. I would just go to random Twitch TV chats and start talking with people and hear the complaints. Inevitably, people want to complain about the game. So shout outs to those two guys for sticking. We were up to like 4 or 5 in the morning last weekend because we had to deliver it on Monday. We wanted to make sure everything was in there. So big shout out to him. Unfortunately, Fatal couldn't make it. Murray, I don't know if he's in there or not. He's probably busy. He's trying to. The struggle is real for Murray. You know, he's trying to do something. And thank you guys for having me on the show. I want to shout out Will. Will, I talk to Will almost every other day, just trying to update each other on the state of hype and where the game's at, where the community's at. Shout out to Will and Stacy. Actually, Stacy gave me codes to give away, and shout out to GearsCon and Shawnee from Tuesday. He commentated for 5 hours with me all the new Call to Arms DLC content on the Hypestation channel. Those are my shout outs. Thank you guys.
I'm just going to shout out you guys, the crew, Kenny, Rob, Barbosa. Shout out to obviously people watching. It's always enjoy myself, even when I get out of character and I'm going on my rants, just to interact with you guys. Most of it is just a show for you guys, but yeah, it's shout out to all you guys. I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about the game, and obviously we all want to make the game better. And I can't stress that enough about how you guys should view this. Is like we want to see things improve. So, just shout out to everyone that is trying to do that and sticking it through. And that's all I got for today.
Yeah, I mean, just thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for putting up with all our rants every night that we're on here. Obviously, shout out to everybody coming on the show tonight, and Barbosa announcing that Hype 3 info for you guys. So, you got something to be excited for, something to give you a reason to keep playing, gives you that motivation. We hope it does, because we need all the players we can get right now going into that. We got a long road ahead of us. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you next week. Unless something crazy happens, we're here every time. So, see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night.
Night.
Later.